Just do business.
Okay, we here with Kwonbie Bernard.
How you doing?
What's going on, man?
Not much, Chris, man.
We're gonna get into the business world with the real estate mogul himself, Kwonbie Bernard, man. So let's start from the top, man. Like, let's start from where, like, how did you, like, where were you born at? You know, how did you come into this entrepreneur mind? Let's start from the beginning.
Okay. So I'm originally from Atlanta, Grady, baby. Too many you don't meet. And as a young kid, I always had aspirations with sports and just being a leader. I was blessed to be born with that. So my parents went to college in Louisiana, Dillon University. So as a child, I had a diverse upbringing. I lived in Louisiana for a while, and we moved back to Atlanta. When we came back to Atlanta, it's a small town called LaPlace, Louisiana, St. John Parish. And I learned a lot down there. Good eating, good living, you know, just a whole different culture. So when we came back to Atlanta, I was blessed to be able to attend Mays High. And after Mays, I attended Morris Brown University, Morris Brown College, which was in the AUC University. So it's in a hub of Clark, Atlanta, Morehouse, Spelman, Morris Brown, and ITC. And there I met a lot of good people and gained a lot of great relationships. While I was there, I worked in the library, did interlibrary loan for about 15 years. I know it sounds kind of funny, but it was a great job and a great opportunity because I met so many people.
What type of people you met there, like, at that location?
A lot of educators and a lot of really well-off blacks of my same kind, business owners, entrepreneurs, and that's what gave me the whole feel of being an entrepreneur. You know, they say Atlanta is a good place, and it is blessed with a lot of opportunities for us. So I took that and ran with it. So at 30 years old, I purchased my first house. And when I first purchased my first house, within that same year, I was able to buy another one.
So hold on. How did you, like, with that, right? Like, take me to, like, how did you know to purchase that house? Was it your mom teaching you, your pops, those educators that you met in college?
Right. So a lot of it was my parents, but also my grandfather and my uncle Marvin Arrington and my grandfather Joseph Arrington. They always preached empowerment and ownership, and they loved the neighborhood and the community that they was from. So my first house I purchased, of course, it was an owner-occupant. But after I purchased that first house, I was able to buy another one, and I started getting to the rental game. Within the next 4 years, I ended up having 9 houses.
Wait, so at 30, or what? At 34?
By 34, I had 9 houses.
So how did you learn credit? Like, how did you learn that?
My mom always taught credit. So with wine, young cat, 20-something years old, and always wanted a nice car. Now I go to the car lot and have a nice down payment and still wasn't able to get the car. So my mom always told me, Kwonbie, you need credit. You need credit. So what I did, I started from the bottom, secured credit cards, and I was in the teacher credit union, and I learned to save and use a credit card because I didn't understand using a credit card and paying interest on my money. I would rather buy it. So once I learned to establish credit, I could walk in the dealership and just get what I want.
Wow.
And it was wild, but you have to learn and manage and learn how to pay bills. And I give a lot of that credit to my mom for teaching me how to pay bills, teaching me how to save, and teaching me the big C word, credit.
The big C.
The big C word.
I'm going to use that one, the big C word, not the little C, the big C. Right.
Now, when I was purchasing a lot of properties, a lot of them I did buy cash.
Wow.
And I learned how once you buy cash, you put a tenant in it, you refinance it, and you do it again. So I continue doing that.
Was it like, so like, when you purchased your first home, you moved out of there and then refinance?
I did move out. I was able to keep that and buy another one, and I put my brother in it. My brother rented it for me. But I learned I learned from my mom with her house.
Wow.
I stayed with her and I built her basement up. And so I changed the dynamics of the house and shot the value up.
Wow.
And she was able to sell it. We stayed close to the college area. She was able to sell it to a family, a kid, parents from, I think from Chicago. And her son had got accepted to Morehouse. She bought my mom's house and turned it into like an 8-bedroom college rental. And when I seen her do that, something just clicked in my head. I was like, oh. And she was renting out each room, doubling her mortgage. So it just gave me that push, that instant, like, man, you can do this. And that's when I started.
Wow.
And it worked out for me.
Wow. So what do you think? So your mom and meeting those business people triggered that entrepreneur?
Yes, and my grandfather. Me and my grandfather, we had a good relationship. And we used to ride around all the time, go out to eat, look at the city, and think of business. So he was like, grandson, what kind of business you want to open? My first thing was a barber shop or a car wash, the smallest. He used to take me to funeral homes, different things. We used to find different things. And so we'll go to distressed areas, Bankhead, Bolton Road, University Avenue, and look at homes. We'll ride through them. And eventually, I just started buying them. My first house as a total rental that I bought, my grandfather and my uncle Johnny Mims, helped me acquire it. And once I got
that's love right there.
From then on, it was just like, this is what you need to do. So I set a little small goal where I wanted to do at least 3 houses a year. And I'm still really doing it. I love to do more, but with doing 3, because I also was still working.
Well, got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
And and having a family, so.
Wow, got you. That's like the secret. That's like, so you was working like a regular 9 to 5?
Yeah, I was working
so you like a 9 to 5
job.
millionaire.
Yeah, I was working a full-time job, but I was investing all my money. Investing.
Ooh.
Right.
Like, now, you said something about Bankhead. And, like what I'm seeing in Bankhead now is that like you got condos, you got new townhouses,
$1 million properties. Right.
But you was there before everybody.
Right. We seen the vision early. Now I didn't know it was gonna take the flip that it did. But like I say, my grandfather, my uncle always told me that money in land is equal or better than money in bank. So when the properties was distressed, $20,000 and $30,000, he used to always tell me, buy one. We'll fix it up. We'll take the time to fix it up. You can always get your money back. And I did it, and eventually it added up. Now the pandemic is what changed Atlanta. Well, it changed me.
Break that down.
When the pandemic came, everything that was over there in that area, value just shot all the way up. So something that you paid $30,000 for was worth $200,000, and it was just like a blessing, a dream. It was just like you woke up to money, and I learned how to work that. So during that process, I sold a lot of my houses to get liquid, but I also learned something else from a great realtor friend. 1031 exchange. So I sold a lot of properties, but at the same time I bought another property in another area, and I just took a little money for myself, to be able to live, and just kept reinvesting.
So for like the youth growing up, right? You said a number. You said 1031 exchange for the youth that want to get into real estate. What is that? What does that mean?
Well,
like,
it's really like a tax break. It's selling one property to acquire another property. Instead of selling it, you getting the money and repurchasing it. So it's almost like a trade-off. And it saves you on your taxes, and it helps you continue to go up the ladder.
Now, I know T.I. got something in Bankhead now too. Like, so
Yeah.
You ever met him, or you ever like y'all ever crossed paths with like doing real estate businesses, or
We
you
never
ever sold something to him, or he sold something to you?
we never did any real estate business. But I have crossed paths with him, being that I'm from the West Side, and I went to Mays, and he went to Doug. I had a relationship with Killer Mike.
Okay.
We was in BTA, Black Teen Advancement, as teenagers, with this wonderful teacher and mentor, Mr. Johnson.
Gotcha.
And he owns a lot of property over there too. But my family, like, just my family, they real Atlanta. They from Vine City, John Hope, Lindsay Street Baptist Church. So we always been a product of Atlanta.
Right.
So a lot of the history I already knew.
Wow. And that's the beauty of like investing back into your community,
Right.
and putting back the money in, because you know some people take the money out, but you put back the money in, and you're fixing up blighted properties. Right. You know, because you have some people that run away instead of coming back and fixing, and wanting to stay there. Then next thing you know, I guess what they call it, gentrification happens. Things of that number. But for me, I feel like gentrification is like picking up the litter and painting the house. What you think about that? Do you feel?
Well, I think it's a really, really positive thing. The thing about the gentrification, the people that was there need to be a part of it. And a lot of it, now we're not a part of it. It's people from out of state, big corporations who's doing it for us. If we was to do it, it'll be amazing, because we know what the people in that area, what kind of product and what things that they need in that community, opposed to somebody coming from somewhere else. And Atlanta is a city that, as I grew, I mean, you love, because it's so diverse. You can do a little bit of anything. Like it's so much here. You can spend a weekend downtown or in Alpharetta and feel like you're in LA.
Wow.
Going to brunches and day parties.
Wow.
And then also, we always had the wonderful night scene. So it's like Atlanta is a piece of everything. It's almost like Hartsville. It's a hub.
Wow. So let me ask you a question about real estate. Say you get a little piece of land, right? What would be a little not even like probably 0.5, probably 0.2 of an acre.
Okay. Quarter of an acre.
Yeah. What would be like the cost to build something like that from scratch, from the ground up?
So your first thing you want to do is survey your property. Any property you get, you survey it, you find out your dimensions of it, and you make sure it's a dwelling area that you can build on. You want to know if you're going to have a septic tank, or you're going to do public water lines or whatever. But you can build a smaller house, like a 3-2, for under $150,000.
That's good.
And here in Atlanta, if you are able to build a 3-2, $150,000, it'll generate close to $2,000 a month. Cause rent is kind of expensive.
Right. And is it still that price now? That what's going on with today's like with the wood and
with the lumber prices? Yeah, lumber prices has dropped back and settled down.
Okay.
Things are supplies are pretty fair right now.
Right.
The battle now is, interest rates and things like that. And that's deferring a lot of people from buying. But if you have the opportunity, I think you should always buy real estate, because it's a forever deal. If you buy real estate, you can always maneuver it. You see what I'm saying? You can always do something different with it. You can always find a way to eat out of it.
Right.
So
when you came, so take me to when you was on your third, going to like straight to your 5th, 6th house. What was that level of risk that you felt that you had to take? Was you nervous? Was it?
Well, at that time I wasn't nervous. That's when your adrenaline running. So you got 5 houses and you like, man, I really want 25. You know, I really want 10. This is what I'm gonna do. But like anything else, you can get 5 or 6 properties, and then you can reach a stump where you have somebody, 2 tenants who not paying rent, or cars all in the yard, and you getting a fine from the vistas, and you paying fine, and it'll discourage you and be like, oh, I'm tired of this property, I'm gonna get rid of it. So it's like anything else. It's hard work. You wanna pick and choose great tenants, and you wanna buy location over anything. Location, city, properties close to the city, close to the airport. If you're in the outskirts, you know, you wanna offer a little land. You wanna always have grocery stores, shopping close if you can. You know, public transportation. All these things factor into buying properties.
So do you feel like the rural area that you stay away from that, or
no? I love it. But it's for a rural tenant. But if you do the rural area, you don't want a rural property that don't have a nice backyard. You see what I'm saying? That don't sit off from the street. You know, rural areas you might not want the subdivision, because that's how you want to live. You see what I'm saying? So,
and I know you have kids, and you're training like your son to be an entrepreneur too.
Right.
You know, and
so my last venture was I bought a commercial. I wanted to dig into commercial, so I bought a commercial building, and it's called Shannon Suites, and we offer 14 suites that you can lease out, and you can run your own business. Things like barbering, lash techs, t-shirt shops. You know, you can just use it for office space. So my son started a print company, and he prints t-shirts, and he's doing very well, and I'm proud of him.
What like he watched you like did he go to like real estate homes and houses while you were going to tour the area, or?
Yeah, he always have. I mean, his mom was a realtor, is a realtor broker. So, and I always been an investor, so he's seen it happening, and he learned a lot from us. But he just felt like he seen a vision. First, he started off making his own clothes, his line, and some kind of way it cultivated to him to want to be the print shop and be able to print for other people. And he has a good friend and a cousin. His name is Chase Hawkins, and they came up with the idea. Chase was already started in it, but Chris jumped in, and they bubbled. And I'm proud of them.
Right. What's the name of that company?
Sixers. Sixers Print. Right. Yeah. And they own personal brand is Unknown Rex.
Yeah, man. Congratulations, because the beautiful part about it, you know, and I'm seeing we're in one of the locations where I'm seeing everything. And it's your building.
Right.
It's the family dynasty.
So I get this from T.I. It's a family hustle. Because also both of my daughters, they braid hair, so they have a suite downstairs too. And it's just a wonderful feeling. Some days I come up here Thursday or Friday, and I walk in the suites, and all my kids are here, and they all eating, they getting money. So they braiding hair. I come upstairs, my son is printing loads of shirts. He did a nice logo and some prints for my one of my electricians, and he was very satisfied. He wanted to come back. So it's a place that all us could make money together and enjoy each other.
Now, okay, when you found the Shannon Suites, right? Did you take me to like what? Like, how did you come up with the idea of suites? Because a lot of people don't process and think like that with suites. They get the whole building and they just make it a one business. And like, what made you think like that? Like,
that's when the real estate, what I knew from real estate, jumped back in. So my son, he went to Landmark Christian, which is in Fairburn. So on the route to school, I always ride through Union City, which was kind of distressed. Union City had a big boom back in the day, and it slowed down. So I seen that it was gonna come back around, and I kept riding by this cleaners. This was a big old cleaners. I mean, the gut out was ridiculous. I had to spend so much money just to tear it up, because you can imagine the silver cleaner rags, no good ventilation, no AC. But my thing was the same as with housing. I was like, max out the property, have as many doors as you can. So me and my friends always talk about how many doors we got. So that's where I came up with the suite. Let me have 14 doors in one building instead of one building. So I got 14 different opportunities of making money instead of just one big opportunity making money.
So take me to like, even like, okay, we're gonna start with like, okay, what would be for somebody that wants to look up to you and do what you're doing with Shannon Sweets, and how you came about with like even starting the process of like before you even thought about the business, like how did you know how to put things together? Like who did you hire? Like carpenters, electrician,
right.
How did you learn that side of like, how would you break that down? What would you start with? Like when you walk into a property like this, what's the first thing or the first person you hiring, or what you seeing and looking at?
Okay, so first thing, you gonna always have a vision, and you have to move fast but not so fast. So when you get that vision, you pray on it, you sleep on it, you think about it, and you come back at it. But you always bring other people who you feel like know a little bit more than you, and ask their opinion about it and see if they see a vision. And other people see a vision, you can kind of cultivate it there. But first, you always want to have a good electrician, a good GC, a good contractor who can oversee things and look and make sure the property is worth what it is, and is it worth putting your money in. And once you get started, everything else will fall in line.
So breaking that down, so you're saying the GC, and that's what you do yourself, right?
Right.
How, like what made you want to say, hey man, I want to be the GC versus hiring a GC? Like,
because I feel like I only can give myself what I want. Somebody else's vision might be a little different. You definitely gonna need a very smart tech guy. You're gonna need a great realtor broker, and you probably need somebody with some funding. A lot of times people fund and do projects by themselves, which I don't did before, and it puts you in a stress situation. And often I tell people it's not bad to collab with people, or
break that down,
or get help. So you can be able to move around the same way you did before you start the project. Because a lot of times I get into a project and I get head over heels with it, and now I'm searching. Where you can go in with some cushion. So me and a lot of my buddies, we help each other. Even if you find a project and you feel like it's your baby that you don't want to give up, me and my friends, we will lend each other money, and you can pay them back, but you won't just have a big stake in this project. And then it's some that we split the whole stake. We split the project, So it's just about building relationships. Relationships.
Collaboration.
Right.
Sometimes a lot of people don't even understand how to collaborate or how to connect with people and network with people.
Right.
Is there a way, is there a way to go about it? Like, how do you come with a business proposition? Because that's what the inquiring mind would like. How do you come with the business proposition to somebody so they can know you're serious? Because you heard about the Jay-Z thing with the $4,800, right? You heard about that?
Right.
Yeah, and he was like, he didn't give his family member $4,800, but he gave somebody else who was proven or something like that. I don't know how real it is, but I did see a little clip.
And that's the exact answer to that. First of all, you can always do a lot of meetings and supporting other people. But the way I think to be successful, you find people who good at one specific thing. And when you find the people that's good at one specific thing, you put that together. And when you put that together, you'll have a completed puzzle. Right.
That's right. Key.
So you're going to know somebody who is a finance guy, who keeps a bank or, likes to invest. You might have a guy who is a flooring guy. If you have a flooring guy and he say, I can paint all right, don't let him paint. Let him stick to the floor. Have a guy who is great at paint and let him paint. And you put it all together, and that's the way it'll come across good.
So, you spoke on something very important. You spoke on financing. You spoke on sometimes being head over heels. Let me ask you a question about the head over heel part, and then we're going to get into like the financing part. Because do you feel like people are scared to borrow money because they, and use their own money because they don't want to owe anybody, or is it an interest thing, or what was it for you?
A lot. And I did a lot of projects with all my capital. I went in and I learned from a guy who's, over wealthy, that you shouldn't always do that. You use enough to get started, and once you get started, you always from day one to credit, keep your credit pretty good, and you always want to refinance. And once again, that's gonna save you on your tax breaks, and be able to make money. But the game is sharing. You got to realize that everybody needs to make a little money. So once you learn that, it will help you more. You're not gonna always hit the home run, but if you hit a base hit and a double multiple times, it's just as great or better than a home run. Yeah.
Now, how because sometimes some people will say, man, going into the bank is so hard to get money. They don't lend money to people like that and things of that nature. What is like the secret ingredient to getting a banker to trust you and lend you multi-millions of dollars for properties?
So it's just like dealing with anybody day to day. You have to build a relationship. A banker is a human. It's a person. So you build a relationship. You're gonna build a relationship with people who have like-minded things, people who love their family, love their kids, love sports, and you'll get an interest. And sometimes you have to start with a smaller loan or a smaller situation, improve yourself to be able to get the bigger purse. And it's not always the bank. It's people you see in your family who well off. It's great insurance policies that you can borrow off of. It's downsizing your car to a basic car, and using that extra money that you was paying to finance things. So it's all kind of ways to be able to get the money. God is good.
Right. Now, I know you spoke about college. What was like your college background? Was it like economics or business?
Nah, I was going to school. Actually, I was a young jock, so I was going to school to be an educator and a coach.
Wow.
And passion that I always loved my son too. And I just always been a person who, my mom told me when I was a child, I used to save my money all the time. Like I was real tight. We'll go out to eat, and she'll say, Kwonbie, you gonna buy something to eat? I'm like, no, I left my money at home, So I always been a guy who put a little something back, and fortunately it came to help me.
Wow, man. I definitely, the story is amazing, man, because like you said, man, starting from your first, what would you say, like the first size of your property? What was the first size?
My first house maybe was 1,700 square feet, and this was in, I think, 2000, and I think it was $130,000, and I could have got more house, but I was so scared. So Great friend of mine.
Break that down.
Great friend of mine.
Yeah.
Trion Dreskler. Her mom, Gloria Dreskler, was a big real estate agent in Atlanta, and she helped me find this property. And I was just so scared buying my first home. I just wanted my mortgage to be at a set price. So it was like, I want to have something that I know I could pay, you know. And she used to laugh at me. She'd take me to see properties, and we used to have a great time. I was like, nah, Miss Gloria, that one too much money. I don't want to get, but I was approved for that. But, you know, so I lived and I learned. And that house, so many people stayed in it and really enjoyed it. It was a great house. We used to call it the Boys Clubs. My little brother graduated from college, and he moved straight in the house. Him and a couple of his guys, they graduated from A&M, Alabama A&M, and they was like, we are not moving back to Alabama. And they moved to Atlanta, and they took care of the house for at least 10 years. Then I had multiple families to live in it after that, so it actually paid for itself, you know. And another thing with the rental property too, you got to know you're not going to make like massive money monthly.
Right.
The bigger win is going to be on your sale and on people, the property value going up, while you're allowing somebody else to inevitably pay for your mortgage.
Right.
So,
what do you think, Shane, is sweet like the building itself after you fixed it up? What do you think is worth now from when you got it?
Number wise, I just be throwing it out there, but it was appraised before I finished, and it was 780 or something like that.
Wow. So it's gotta be
I know
millions.
finished, yeah, it should be, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. But I love to get it appraised to find out instead of just throwing out numbers, you know. I don't know. So.
Like, so what really, like, in a sense, right, with business today, like, and how things are going, like, what are new ventures that you think you will be getting into to blend the real estate? Like,
so the whole going green thing has always been tough on me lately, you know, so I love to do some properties like that. I have a little vision too on not the food trucks, but the food containers.
right.
And you do short-term leases,
Yeah.
just to flip what you eat. Because today now, everybody's trying to eat well, and you know, times change. You might love a restaurant, and then after a year, you
Right.
burnt out on it.
Right.
So I love to do like a food container area, and it only houses short leases,
Right.
6 months to a year.
Right.
So you do barbecue for a year,
Right.
but that same shell is gonna be there. The next year it might
Right.
be a taco stand.
Right. That's
the next
smart.
year, and do about 4 or 5 of them,
Right.
and keep
It's
good
like ghost
stuff.
kitchens and
Yeah,
things like that. Like,
ghost kitchens. Yeah,
Yeah. Things like that.
Something
They just
like
pull
that.
up. They might not even see a sign or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, that is.
I still think the aluminum training sheds, I still think that's a big deal, because
Right.
everybody needs to work out, and
Right.
everybody's on their workout kit trying to get themselves together. I think that'll be a nice adventure. It wouldn't take a lot to do it, because all you need is a gutted building,
Right.
a couple of restrooms, and
Right.
put down some grass, and
Right.
you know, the training for the kids and all the super athletes out here. So
Right.
those are the things that I am. I still have my hand into the trucking and the heavy equipment. You know, I buy those as I can and flip that. But you know, just continue to process this thing.
Right. So, like, what do you see, like, because do you only invest in Atlanta, or like?
Well,
I know you got Union City, but like, I guess this is Metro.
Yeah.
Do you invest out of state, or?
I'm just in Georgia, and that is a dream to invest out of state. I would love to have a vacation property, you know, in maybe Florida or Dominican or Mexico, where all my friends and family could go and travel and have fun and rent it out. You know, I did the Airbnb thing in Atlanta and in Griffin, and it was pretty profitable, but to me it was kind of hard. But it's a good one. You just have to do a lot of work. You know, you have to take care of your property. You have to be on who you rent it to. You know, you have to keep it clean, keep a lot of things fixed that a person to tear up. But you know, it's for each his own. You know?
Right. So would you say like about Airbnb? Is that for you, or are you still doing it, or you say that ain't your style? Your style is rental.
Yeah, my style. I'd rather rental.
Right.
I'd rather rental. You know, you can always do the duplexes and the quads. That's a good deal. And you try to find those in the college areas, close to a college, and put 4 to 8 bedrooms like the woman did who bought my mom's first home.
Wow, that was like, how many rooms was in the first home?
8. So instead of student housing, which nobody loves,
right?
You rent out a house and you rent the rooms.
How much you think you could get for that? Like, man, I don't want to get into that business. $300 a room a month, or
well over that, because staying on campus costs more than that.
Yeah,
you probably get $700 to $800 a month.
Yeah, that's
a room.
Yeah,
and times 8. You do the math. That's good.
Yeah, she was definitely. Yeah. How your mom felt about that? Did she say like, why did I come up down there?
It still was a blessing because she sold that house and was able to get her another house that she really loves. So.
Right. That's dope. That's dope, man. But it's great to have parents that guide you and put you in the right direction. You know, because that, like you said, the big C. Like, everybody's parents don't have that information. What would you say you like better, residential or commercial? Because I know you was dealing with the Airbnbs. You said you wasn't into that.
I mean, it was cool. I'm just saying, as far as like my preference, but both of them is cool. Real estate is real estate to me. You know, you can just buy a whole bunch of land and be blessed. You know, so and put some cat on it and sell the trees. So it's really not a big preference, but I just feel I always want to elevate and go up the ladder. So the more projects, the bigger you can buy. Because I mean, I wouldn't say residential is bad if you can do a whole complex of affordable housing or a neighborhood of affordable housing. That's great. And commercial, the same thing. If you can have some warehouses where you can have 18-wheelers bumping docks as well as warehouses with great food in it, the refried commercial buildings, so it's just real estate, period.
So what's your short-term goal, and what's your long-term goal with everything? Like, where do you see yourself like in the next 3 years with it, and where do you see yourself in the next 15 with it? Like,
okay. In the next 3 years, I would love to own a warehouse and have properties in different states. In the next 10 to 15 years, to have a lot of the projects that I started, running well and paid for, and watching my son and my daughter take lead. Really.
You got anything else you want to shout out, or anything, any businesses you want to speak on, like your Shannon Sweets, your Instagram, or anything you want to?
Oh, well, ShannonSweets.com, that's the Instagram. Unknown Rex. We got homemade tomato. We got Ice and Hearst. Got a lot of things going on, so keep in touch, man.
All right, thank you for coming out. Thank you for everything, man.